Hi, I'm Kristen, and this is Scrap Fabric Love. Welcome to day one of Quiltmas 2025. If you've not heard of Quiltmas, this is an annual collaboration between 12 quilty YouTubers. We do 12 days of videos. We all make fun, quilty, Christmassy projects, and then at the very end, you guys have a chance to win what we've made. I'll give you more of the details about how you enter at the end of the video, but basically you need to watch all 12 videos, and all of the channels that are taking part are listed in my video description box. There are some great channels taking part this year, some of whom you will absolutely have heard of, and some of them I'm calling hidden gems, and they could be your new favorites. So as well as tuning in to all 12 of the videos, you also need to write down everybody's secret word. So we're all going to be saying at some point in the video what our secret word is. We're going to try and make it obvious, but you do have to watch to find them. And this year, not all the words are super quilty, so you're gonna have to be listening. They would be pretty hard to guess if you hadn't watched, is all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, so you're thinking, Kristen, it's Quiltmas. Christmassy, right? Why is there this bright, totally not Christmassy quilt behind you? What's that all about? Well, okay, here's the thing. The theme for Quiltmas this year is presents, and I've gone literal in it. Like in two ways. So the first way is I'm going to be making a Christmassy quilted wall hanging that looks like a present with a real 3D bow. That's the plan. And the second way that is literal is that today's video and the project that I'm going to walk you through is my present to all of the lovely folk who bought my Scrapagon quilt pattern when it came out in my Etsy shop back in October. So if you already have the pattern, you can follow along with the tutorial, and this is an extra Christmassy project that you can make with it. If you don't have the pattern and you want to sew along, the link is in the video description box. But I hope even if you don't have the pattern, you can enjoy this tutorial and maybe get some inspiration for a project of your own. Okay, so let's get started with my Quiltmas wall hanging present project.
So here's everything you're going to need to make this project. So first up, you're going to follow the instructions in the Scrapagon quilt pattern to make 16 of these foundation paper pieced Hexie blocks. So I've gone for half red solids and half red Christmas prints. So if you've got the pattern, the solids for this are the A1 patch and the prints are the A2 patch, and you're making 16. So it's like making one quadrant of the regular quilt. So you can get the fabric requirements from that. This pattern is designed to be scrappy, so you don't have to have all the same solid reds or all the same prints, and that's the same for the background fabric. So for this wall hanging, you need 48 charm pack squares, that's 5-inch squares, and 8 2.5 by 5-inch pieces, all in your background fabric, but they can be different fabrics just in the same kind of color family. I've gone for a kind of creamy off-white color. Next, you need one 20.5 by 2.5-inch strip in your kind of ribbon stroke bow color. Mine's green. Then two 9.5 by 2.5-inch strips in that bow color. I've gone for the same green for both those cuts, but you could make it scrappy as well.
You're also going to need some ribbon. I've used a velvet green ribbon, I'll show you later, that's got like the wire on the edges, but I'll come back to that. And if you're worried about writing all these cuts and measurements down, don't be. I've put it all in a blog post on my blog. The link is in the video description box. So you can just head there when you're ready to make the project.
So the first thing you're going to do is lay out those 16 hexagon blocks into 4 groups of 4. And if you've used the same pattern in some of them and not others, maybe try and distribute that out in different quadrants, if you know what I mean. So we're making a mini version of the center of the Scrapagon quilt, essentially. You want a video tutorial of how to make your hexagon blocks using your foundation paper piecing patterns. It's in this previous video, and I will link to it in the description box.
Next, what I'm doing is piecing these into groups of 4. So I'm going to go right sides together. If you've still got your papers on, you can just follow that 1/4-inch seam line. I'm going to do that for all of these pairs. And then once those pairs are joined, I'm going to join this row of 2 to this row of 2. And I'm always making sure that the solid is up in the left-hand side when I'm looking at it right side up, so that all my patterns are down on this bottom side of the hexagon.
Next, we're joining those pairs of 2 into groups of 4. So
along this line, which gives me my 1/4-inch seam.
Now that we've got our 4 quadrants of Hexies, we are going to add one of those 2.5 by 9.5 inch strips in between here and here. So we would do right sides together with one, and then take that whole unit, right sides together with the other one, and do it on both sides. So here we have one quadrant joined to the green strip, and then I'm going to add the other quadrant on the bottom. I'm sure you can see where this is going now. So now I'm going to take this long green strip and piece it in the middle. So I'll put one side on it first and then the whole thing together. And then I'm going to have the sort of body of my present. And then we're going to move on to the background, and the bow is going to be at the very end. Once that's all together, we're going to start piecing those Charm Pack background fabric squares. So you're just going to make 24 groups of 2. So we're just doing them right sides together, 1/4 inch seam, and we're just sewing them all into pairs. And once you have those 24 pairs of Charm Pack squares, the way it's going to go is you're going to have some on either side. So what we're essentially going to end up with is 2 rows of Charm Pack squares all the way around the present. But we need to add the kind of spacer units where the ribbon is in the hexagon center, if that makes sense. And all I'm trying to do here is just distribute the different creamy kind of fabrics that I have so that they're spread out around the background. And I don't have too many of the same fabric touching each other. Okay, so this is how it works. So we've got our 24 pairs of Charm Pack squares, and I've arranged them like this. They're not attached to each other or anything else right now. And we're going to take our 8 2.5 by 5 inch rectangles and slot them in here. So of course you could use one big piece of fabric for a border and there, and if you have the hexagon quilt pattern, you'll know there's that quick finish option as well as the Charm Pack option. But for this one, I was trying to use all different scraps. So the idea is that you can use Charm Packs, because of course these 2 rectangles can be cut from other Charm Packs. So if you have a lot of pre-cut Charm Packs, this could be quite the stash buster for you. Okay, and so those are all of our background pieces and how they're going to be laid out. So I'm working from the center out. I've got everything laid out on the floor, and I don't want to have to label rows and things like that. So I am just picking up what I need for each section to build out from the center. So I'm picking up the pairs of Charm Packs and the 2.5 by 5 inch units to make one panel for one side of the present, and then the other panel to go on the other side, and then I piece the top and bottom to put it all together. So here's another way to visualize that, and these graphics are all in the blog post on my blog if you need something to refer to when you're putting your quilt top all together. I chose this black and white festive houses print for my backing fabric. And you might be thinking, hang on, why are you loading this on the long arm, Kristen? Should we not be doing the bow first? But no, the bow goes last. So before we get to any 3D bonus, we are quilting. So this is the batting that I'm using. It's Franken batting, which means that I pieced it from different leftover bits of batting from other projects. And in fact, it was quite tight. So I was playing a bit of batting chicken, but it just about fit. Once I had the quilt basted to the top, I was just checking underneath for the tension, and then I was good to go. So I decided to do a kind of wavy crosshatch. I've done wavy lines before. I've done crosshatch before. I've not done wavy crosshatch. So that's what I decided to try with this, because there were so many angles in the hexagons already. So I thought it might be nice. So I went all the way across the quilt, just doing sort of relatively evenly spaced wavy lines. Then took the whole thing off, flipped it around, put it back on the long arm, and then did those wavy lines again, relatively evenly spaced, back the other way. I've done this sort of thing where I flipped the quilt around and loaded it again for like a straight line crosshatch or a grid, whatever you want to call it, but I've not done this wavy line one. I do quite like how it turned out, so I think I might use this again. So even once the quilting was done, there's still a few more steps before we had that bow. So I trimmed it up. I added some hanging corners so that I could insert a dowel to hang the wall hanging on the wall. I actually taped 2 dowels together to make them the right size. And if you want to know how to do all of this, I have a video about 15 ways to hang mini quilts, and a lot of them will work for larger wall hangings as well. Lastly, I bound the wall hanging in a fabric that matched my background fabric. So we're finally ready for the last step. The quilt's all quilted, it's all bound, but we need a bow at the top of our present. I have got a ridiculously long 100-inch length of 2.5-inch wide velvet ribbon. I cut my ribbon too long. You really only need it to be about 70 to 80 inches long. The kind with the wires on the edge so that it kind of holds its shape. Then I have a shorter piece. It's more like 3.5 inches long, and that's to kind of cover the middle when we're done. And then I've got a little piece of twine. This is just to tie the middle cinched in. So you can use whatever you have. Doesn't have to be twine. Could be another thinner piece of ribbon, could be a twist tie, whatever you got. And then I have some green thread that matches my ribbon. So it's gonna be invisible when I stitch it on. And thread just happens to be my Quiltmas secret word. So write that down. So here is how we're gonna make this bow. Right, so this is the top of my quilt. You don't have to do this on the quilt. I'm just doing it so you can see what we're doing, right? And I want a tail that is about a hand's length, and I'm gonna make that little V from here. So from the top of my present, so I'm gonna go hand. And how long is my hand? If you want to be precise, let me see here. My hand is about 7 inches long. So there we go. So 7 inches. And then I'm gonna make a loop. And I would like my loop to kind of end right above the charm pack square on this row here that's closest to the hexagons. But of course it's on an angle, so it's gonna be longer than 5 inches. So let me see, I'm just eyeballing it, but let me see what that is. Looks like about a 6-inch loop, okay? So I'm gonna pinch that in here, and then I'm gonna bring up the other end and try and make a loop that is pretty much the same length as the one we started with. So again, I can use the charm pack square and the other loop as a kind of rule of thumb. They don't have to be exact, but it's good if they're similar. So then we're gonna pinch that in there. Kind of see how this is working, right? And then we're gonna do another one on this side. So I'm kind of putting it out this way, then folding it back in. And it's gonna be, again, a similar length, but we're gonna kind of push it down that way a bit. We're still pinching. And then this length. And so obviously I'm trying to get the loops, all of the velvet to be facing out, right? And I kind of like that. And then I need to twist this bit because of the way the loop's gone so that I've got it coming down here. Now I've got a good length of ribbon that I did not need. So I cut this far too generously. So this is where we're at, and there's my twine. So you should have this bit coming over the front if you were watching how we did those loops. And then I can pinch this, slide this twine in behind, and then tie a tight knot. Okay, and so it is at this point that we can kind of look at it and decide whether we're happy with how that's gonna look. The twine's gonna be covered here, okay? But if you decide at this point whether you like how big your bows are, how it's all lying before we trim or stitch anything down. So I had a look at that, and I decided I want these loops to be a tiny bit bigger. So I'm just gonna pull a bit and readjust it. And I think I'm happy with that. So I've got my twine, and I'm gonna tie it one more time around the back just to keep this all tight. And now that I've got it to this point, what I wanna do is cover the middle with this. So I'm gonna fold the wired end in on either side of this. It should be easy to do with the wire, just like that. You see that? So it's just a little bit folded in. And then I'm going to put it over the middle. And pin it at the back for the moment. Okay, so that's that pinned on. So that's kind of more what it's going to look like on the front. And we're going to readjust everything. Okay, and when I actually stitch that together, it might be a little tighter in the middle.
Once I've stitched this on, I'm gonna kind of poof these out a little bit, right, okay. But we're gonna do our tails next. So this one is the length it's gonna be. We're just gonna put those ends together, fold it a little bit there, and just do one of these tiny little snips. And that's gonna get us that little, what do you call that? Snake tongue end. And then we want this to be the same length. So again, let's see, roughly 7.5 or so. 7.5 or so. So around about here. And then I'm gonna do my little snake tongue. And there we go. So these are gonna go down like this. This is gonna come up like this. And what I'm gonna do off camera is pull, oh, my pins come out of it, is pull this really, really taut, this short bit of ribbon, and hand stitch that together. And then I'm gonna hand stitch this bow to right on top of where this green line stops. And then I will readjust everything and we will have this 3D present bow.
So when I was stitching this on, I was trying to go through the quilt top and the batting, but not through the back. But it is a wall hanging, so don't worry if you can see the thread on the back. And then I also tacked down the bottom side of the bow folds onto the wall hanging. So there's a couple of stitches just in the bit of the loop that you can't see, and that's going to help me to poof the bow out a bit better when I'm all done. I'm super happy with how this turned out, and I can't wait for one of you to win it.
So here's the finished wall hanging that you can win if you enter Quiltmas this year. It finished at 36.5 by 36.5. Technically baby size, but with that bow and the white, I wouldn't use it for that. It is meant to be a wall hanging, and I hope it will brighten up somebody's house during the festive season. So here's all the details about how you enter Quiltmas. So you're gonna watch all 12 channels, the date that everybody's airing, and the channel location is all linked to in my video description. Everyone is planning to put their videos out at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so which is why mine is out kind of late in the UK today. Then you're gonna write down everybody's secret word, and there's gonna be a Google form. So that form is gonna be in everyone's description box on the 12th of December after Tom, the colorblind quilter, does the final video on his channel. You only need to fill in the form once, and it doesn't matter whose channel you found it on. You're still entered into the draw to win all 12 prizes. And then from the 12th until midnight on the 14th, midnight UK time, because me and Tom are in the UK, the form will be open, you can submit it. And then on the 15th, 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern time, we're gonna have a live draw back here on Scrap Fabric Love with me and Tom, the colorblind quilter, and we're gonna be drawing 12 winners, one for each prize that's being given out on the various channels. So the prize for my channel is this quilt, and I'm also gonna throw in 2 of the cute stickers from my Etsy shop with your prize if you win mine. The last 2 years that I've done this, I've been able to get this out with a courier, even though my winners were both in the United States and I'm in Scotland, before Christmas. So my 2 winners have both had it before they opened their other Christmas presents. So if you win mine, please respond to my email quickly with your address so that I can keep my streak going. I want to make it a hat trick. And lastly, tomorrow's video, day 2 of Quiltmas, you need to tune in to Dave on Dave's Craft Room. If you have not seen this channel before, you're in for a treat. Dave makes some amazing quilts and some super funny videos. So make sure you tune into Dave tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time for Quiltmas day 2. If this is your first time visiting the channel, thank you so much. Hi. I make scrap quilts. I don't follow a lot of quilting rules, and I spend a lot of my time in my online quilt group called Scrap Club. It's over on Patreon. We do live Zoom meetings, we have collaborative group quilts, and we just have lots of fun people inside. So if you're interested in that, there's a link to that in the video description box as well. And if you did like this video and you're not subscribed, I would love it if you'd consider it. And I would also love it if you'd consider sharing this video with a friend, get them involved in Quiltmas, and spread that holiday joy. Thanks so much for spending time with me, and I'll see you back here on the 15th. Bye.